Hey guys, welcome back to another GTA Online video. My name is Saintsfan, and today we're going to go over the Dripfeed order for all of the unreleased Drug War DLC vehicles. I think there's about 9 or so of them. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys the release order, the prices that they all are going to be, as well as a bit of gameplay. If you're looking for customization, I'll be making a separate video in about a day or two once more of the mods fully update, because there were some issues with it. But the customization will come later. Today, we're just taking a look at the prices and mainly the release order. So we're going to start with what the websites will look like once everything is released. There's 3 different websites that these vehicles are going to be on. There's the Warstock Cash and Carry, which is going to have these 2 vehicles, the Brigade 6x6 and the Taxi. Now, the Brigade 6x6 you can already get by just doing the missions. I guess they're putting it on this website if you just want to buy it and not do the missions. The Taxi you can also get for free by getting to level 25 in the arena. So they're also just putting that on this website in case you didn't want to do that. There is a trade price for the Taxi, and that just requires you to do 10 of the upcoming unreleased Taxi missions. But those are the first 2 vehicles, or that's the first website. The next website, Southern San Andreas, we have about 4 new vehicles coming on this website. It's going to start with the Issy Rally at the bottom left. Then we have the Hot Ring Evron, the Willard Eudora, and the Karen Boar. A lot of these vehicles are pretty expensive, so just keep that in mind. And then the final website, the Legendary Sports. We have a couple of new vehicles as well, starting with the Power Surge at the bottom left. That's an electric bike. Then we have the Classique Broadway. That's the one that's going to have the Taxi livery. We also have the Tundra Panther. That's a new car manufacturer in the game. And I believe that actually that vehicle is almost identical to the IRL version. So that's cool to see. And then we also have another supercar, the Ocelot Virtue. That one is also pretty expensive. So those are the 3 websites. That's what they're going to look like. Now, as far as the release order, this is what was found in the game files. So the first 5, those are the ones, the first 6, I guess you could argue, are the ones that are already out. The Entity 3, the Tulip, the Journey, the Surfer, and the R300. The next one, the next drip feed is going to be the Brigade, apparently, and that makes sense. It's the next one. Followed by the Taxi, which I guess they mentioned early 2023, so maybe that's going to be the first week of 2023. We get the Taxi with the Taxi missions. Now, the only weird one is the Tahoma there, and that's because that already released. I am just going to ignore that. And the reason we're going to ignore that is because this list for the last DLC gave us the exact release order. So I'm willing to bet this is going to be the exact release order after that Tahoma. So the first actual vehicle is going to be the Power Surge, the new bike, followed by the Issy Rally, which is an SUV. Then we have the Broadway, which is again that taxi vehicle, the Panther, the new sports car, the Everon 2, which is a hot ring. It's also a sports car. The Virtue, that's the supercar. And more than likely, that's going to be, whenever that releases, that's going to be when the second part of this DLC, the missions, release. And then to wrap it up, you have the Eudora and then the Boar. Now, the one thing regarding this drip feed that Rockstar changed in the last DLC, they're not doing one every single week. So don't be expecting that. There might be one this week, and then they might wait an extra 2 weeks before they put in the next drip fed vehicle. There's also a lot of other stuff going to be drip fed, like the taxi missions, stash houses, the gun van, the 50 car garage. So they might sprinkle those in throughout the weeks as well to extend this. So this could be a very long drip feed. But as far as the vehicle order, after that Tahoma, going from the Power Surge down, that is going to be the order. Now, let's take a look at some gameplay and prices specifically and some of the unique features. We're going to just go in order. The Power Surge being the first one. This is actually an electric bike. I believe it's actually the first electric bike in GTA Online. It is almost silent when you drive it, which is, it's kind of weird, honestly, especially here in single player with like no other vehicles. It's so quiet. But it is an electric car, or electric bike. It does cost $1.6 million, so pretty expensive. Of course, like most electric vehicles, it's got some pretty good acceleration. The top speed, though, is not the best, but That is the first vehicle. The next one, the Issy Rally. Now this one is a little bit interesting because of two things. Number one, it's actually going to be an HSW upgradable vehicle on the new consoles when it comes out. Hopefully that upgrade is not an additional drip feed week, but it will have HSW upgrades, so it will be a little bit faster. Also, it's an SUV. I mean, I guess it's a very tiny SUV, but it is in the SUV class, and the price tag is pretty absurd. Almost $2 million for this. I mean, I guess if you race in the SUV class, it might be one of the new fastest ones, but that is an absurd price for this vehicle. The third vehicle, the new taxi, the Classique Broadway. This one is very slow. I just want to point out it's very slow. It isn't too bad price tag wise. It's a little under $1 million at $925,000. So definitely more reasonable, but it is still pretty expensive for the vehicle you're getting. The one thing I do hope Rockstar do with the new taxi missions is they allow us to use some of these vehicles that have taxi liveries on them. There's a handful of them in the game. And I hope that is the case because then that would actually give us a reason to use these type of vehicles. But that is going to be the third vehicle. The fourth one is the new Panthère. This is the new sports car. This is the one that more than likely, I don't know if it'll top the charts in terms of other sports cars, but it'll be up there. It's pretty fast. It sounds like it has good acceleration and handling. It is $2.17 million, so it is pretty expensive. I think that actually might be one of the most expensive sports cars in the game. I believe most of the other ones are only around like 1.6-ish or so $million. But yeah, this one is over the 2 million mark. It is with the new manufacturer, so that's kind of cool, the Tundra. But this one is definitely going to be probably one of the best cars from this update. Then that brings us to the next sports car. I think the only other sports car in this DLC, the Hot Ring Everon. This one is an interesting one. I'm sure it's going to have a ton of customization. This one actually has a trade price. So you can see the regular price is $1.8-ish million, which is crazy. You can get the trade price and knock it to 1.3 mil. And all you have to do is finish top 3 in 20 San Andreas Super Sport Series races. So it actually is quite a grind to get that trade price. But if you do want it for, what is that, like $500,000 cheaper, then I'm sure you can pretty much just easily do that and unlock it. This one is pretty fast, at least the top speed. The acceleration is not that great, but the top speed is pretty good for what it is. But yeah, the Hot Ring Everon. Then we get to another vehicle that's got a trade price. This is the new supercar. It is an electric supercar, so one thing you'll see in the gameplay, the acceleration is nuts. Like this thing goes from 0 to 120 in like a second, but then it doesn't go any higher than that. I think 119, 120 is literally the highest, the top speed. So if you're going in a straight line, this is definitely not the vehicle, but it looks great. Like that's number one. I don't know what it's based off of IRL, but it looks great. I love the look of it. Very sleek, very modern. It does cost a lot of money if you don't get the trade price. 2.9 mil. That's literally almost $3 million for this car. To get the trade price, you have to complete the last dose BDKD mission. So that's why I said it's more than likely going to come with the release of the next batch of missions. But this is the only other supercar in this update. And then we have a very interesting car. This is the Eudora. It comes in at 1.25 million. I believe it's a muscle car. This one's kind of neat for a couple of reasons. Number one, it actually does also have a taxi livery. And it does also put a little taxi roof sign on your car. So that's really cool. I like that addition. And again, I hope we get to use this or these type of vehicles in the taxi missions. But the second reason this one is so interesting, in the leaked GTA 6 videos, in like the 90 videos, this car actually showed up in a couple of those videos. So this might be one of the first cars that we see not only in GTA Online, but actually in GTA 6. So it's not probably going to be the best car to own, especially at 1.2 mil. But if you want to have a GTA 6 vehicle, I mean, before obviously it comes out in GTA 6, boom, whenever this vehicle releases, you can now do that. And then the final one, the Boar, I think it's the Karen Boar. It's an off-road vehicle. It's a little weird looking car. This one is also 1.25 million. And it's probably not worth that price tag. It's not that fast. It's an off-road vehicle, like I mentioned. I don't even think it really handles that well off-road. I mean, we didn't really do too much testing. Again, this is just a base video, but it wasn't looking too good when I was trying to drive up the mountain. The speed's not that great, so it's a weird and cool kind of looking car. Probably has a bunch of customization, but I don't know if you're going to be driving it too often. So those are all the vehicles, of course, minus the Bricade and the taxi, but those aren't anything new, so I didn't really feel like showing those. But that's the Dripfeed order. That's the prices and a bit of gameplay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, the customization of these vehicles will be out in a couple of days, so be on the lookout for that if you are curious. Also, check out some of my other Drug Wars DLC videos in case you had any questions on the actual update. But anyway, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you all for watching. Please drop it a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA content. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.